All right. So again, if you're new to me, I am Monica McCarter. I am the Purple Box organizer. I'm a home coach, a professional organizer, and a certified life coach. I help you create personal and household goals to declutter your home, schedule, mind, and your business. When we work together, we create customized home systems or social media systems or business systems so that you and your business and your household can function more efficiently. And then you can spend more time doing what you enjoy doing. What I specialize in with my clients is I help them define routines, define systems, and simplify their thoughts or your thoughts to move forward with less judgment and more momentum. I'm very passionate about home systems. That's what I focus on a lot in my business, in the things that I post. I feel like my techniques can help you get your home clean and organized and help you keep it that way on a daily basis. And I help you learn and I help teach you to implement good habits with manageable action steps, not things that feel too overwhelming. And that makes those habits last. I am a wife to my husband, Ian. I'm a mom to my 3 beautiful kids. Brighton is 11, Jaden is 7, and Braylon is a week away from being 3. That sounds crazy. I also teach dance at a local dance studio in our city, and I like spending time with my family. I like Oreos, and of course, I do love the color purple. So today you're here, or you're watching the replay because you wanted to learn a little bit more about making a social media strategy, okay? We're gonna first quickly talk about how you would like to show up on social media, since that is an aspect that you're in charge of, right? You get to decide how you show up and what kinds of things that you post. And I'm gonna break it down into what the coach firm calls the 7 C's. The first is curriculum, and this is just exactly what you'll post, what you plan and what you create. Those are the things that are your curriculum that you're putting out there. The second C is character, okay? This can absolutely be shown in your posts and for who you are as a person, okay, right? This shows your values and you have to choose these carefully before you put them out there, because once they're out there for everyone to see. Okay, so what types of posts are you making, right? You get to decide what you want to post, what you want to share, how that's going to come across for showing you and your basically the face of your business. Okay, so decide before you plan and post what your level of integrity is. Okay. The next C is connection, and this is how you focus on reaching people, right? It's called social media, so the idea is to be social. A lot of places like Instagram allow you to do only selling, which is nice if you have the right kind of account. Facebook is meant to be social, though you can have a Facebook business page and you can help drive business and clients or potential clients to that business page. Okay. And I believe making connections is through meaningful posts and meaningful comments, right? If somebody comments on your post that you make about your business, you don't want to just say, cool, sounds good, or thanks for commenting. You want to try to comment more, or you could even ask a question to kind of keep the conversation going, right? Make it a little bit more meaningful. Make the people that are there looking at what you have, commenting what you have, feel seen and heard. Okay. And then having authentic conversations with others online, not necessarily only talking to the people that you think are going to give you money, but the ones that you can plant seeds with, the ones you can make connections with, like us right now. Just how can we help each other? How can we support each other in our businesses? And that's what feels good and really makes it a good lasting feeling for the long run. Okay, so we want to be showing up as your true self, and only you can decide what that will be. Okay. I think being relatable really helps. A lot of people talk about this on social media, is to be relatable. So that means we don't show our perfectly organized houses and expect everyone to look the same or want the same thing, but we can show them how we deal with, look, my junk drawer is kind of unorganized right now. I'm going to clean that up. Maybe if you have a different business, there's another way that you can kind of show them, look, I deal with these things too, and this is how I do them in my home, okay, or in my business. Okay, and then decide if you'd like to make connecting with people your priority over sales. I kind of already touched on that one. The next C is curiosity. Okay, I want you to decide and think about what your options are for posting. Okay, sometimes we're sitting in that space of like, I don't know, I'm stuck. What should I post? Well, what are my options? There's a lot of things that I could do that are very, very simple that I could just make happen. Okay. How can you reach more people? This is more questions to ask yourself. How can you make it so that you're not just talking to the same audience over and over? You're always trying to bring in more people to what you're sharing in your social media. Okay. How can you be creative with your content? What could you improve on as you go, right? Don't try to post the same things all the time, but be more creative in how you post and what you post and how you're showing it to your audience, right? Not just a static post all the time where it's something they could read or just a picture. Do a video or a time-lapse video where you've videoed yourself cleaning up the kitchen or organizing a space and then you speed it up, okay? If you feel like something's not working, how can you make a shift instead of sitting in that place again where this isn't working, I don't know what to do? What do I need to shift to be able to make this work or make something totally different than what I've been trying because it's not working? Okay. Are there other people that I could connect with and learn from online? Do I have things to offer that I'm not currently offering? Do you have maybe some ideas that you've had that you're like, I've got to get this down, but I don't know when I'm going to do it, or I've been meaning to, or I'm scared to? What do you have to offer people that you're not actually currently offering that you could do and kind of help with that curiosity and change or pivot a little bit to offer a little bit more to your audience? Okay. The next C is compassion. It goes a long way to show this first over offering a solution. So even if you offer that solution, when somebody asks a question, what would you do at this space? Or how can I make this better? You can first show compassion and then come up with the solution or idea. Okay. So I said, show in my notes, show compassion first, then get to work finding that solution, right? Sometimes we're talking with clients and this happens in their home and not necessarily somebody asking online. You're in their home and they're like, oh, I can't get this organized. I'm really struggling with this, or, whatever the situation is. First, have compassion. Sometimes they're telling you exactly why, or sometimes they want you to be able to tell them like, it's okay. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to judge. And then they can be a little bit more open and kind of make progress. But if they're stuck in that area where they're feeling like they should be judged or should judge themselves, or you are judging them, it's hard to move past that. Okay. The next C is confidence. Think of what you are great at. And I don't care what anybody says, everybody is great at something. Okay. Where do you shine? Concentrate on that and not the things that you don't know. Okay. Doesn't matter what you don't know, we can always learn more, but concentrate for now on the things that you do know. And those are the things that you can share. Be brave in showing what you're great at and don't worry so much about the areas that you may not feel so strong in. Okay, the last C is climate. And this is all about how you want to show up on social media, how you want to look. Okay, the pictures of you, of your home, spaces that you're working on in clients' homes, in your videos, or in your lives. Okay, will you have your hair and makeup done? Will you just have a bun up and your work t-shirt on and you're just getting the thing done? Will you have anyone in the background, or do you film just completely by yourself so that there's no distractions? Okay. Some people like to film like a little bit of both. Some people like those everyday moments with kids kind of in the background, but not being super loud so they can still hear your message. I feel like that's important. But think about having a mix of being professional and also relatable. Okay, I feel like that's really important so that people can feel more comfortable with you and essentially want to work with you. Okay. All right, let's dive into the masterclass of creating a social media strategy. And this is where you get to do the work. Okay, so make sure you have something to write with and write on. Number one is define your content pillars. And if you've been with me for a few of these, you've heard me talk about content pillars. Okay, these are categories or themes or even topics that you use for the content that you post. Okay, so if you just think about little sections or little posts, actual pillars, these are categories in which you can stick your posts and things that you talk about. Okay, so as an example, here are my content pillars that I use. I do value, I do family, I make my offers, I share behind the scenes, and that could be my home or my work, whatever I'm working on. And then the fifth is mindset. Okay, so write out right now some ideas that you'd like to have for your content pillars. I recommend anywhere from 3 to 5. If you have any more than that, it can be a little bit too much for your audience to take in. And a lot of times you can just kind of, oh, that kind of goes under here anyway. Okay, so right now, write down 3 to 5 that you'd like to have, or just brainstorm some ideas. You don't necessarily have to get them all figured out and decided on right this second. Okay, and while you're doing that, I'm going to give you a few more examples. You could do family life or your personal life if you want to just share you, if you're a one-woman show, or if you want to keep your kids and your family out of it. Some people do that too. You could do a pillar for like decluttering tips or examples, client work that you've done or that you're working on. So like current projects, that could be a pillar. Organizing examples or tips, and those don't necessarily have to be yours. As long as you're giving the person credit, you could share other people's work. Just, oh, look at this beautiful pantry that so-and-so did, and make sure you tag them correctly, okay? You could do mindset like me, or inspiration, share inspirational quotes or funny quotes if you want to have some comedy in with your social media. Tips and tricks and how-tos, and the last one, offers. I think everyone should have offers so that you're always telling people how they can work with you. So that's always a really, really good one to kind of stick on there. So even if you decide not to use it, I want you to write offers down so that you can kind of think about how you're going to do that. Whether you do it all on your posts or you only do that in your emails, okay? If you're watching this as a replay, what you might want to do is pause it and then make sure that you come up with your pillars, okay? These can be changed at any time. You can kind of like, oh, I don't really want that one. And then shift or narrow your focus, right? Whatever you want your focus to be. Okay. All right. Now I want you to brainstorm 5 to 10 ideas of what you could post that would fit under each of these pillars. Okay, remember, if you have any questions, save them till the end. Write it down on the side. Okay, and I'm going to give you a couple examples while you brainstorm, okay? All right. I'm going to list off my pillars again with a couple examples. I did 3. Nope, I did 5. Such an overachiever sometimes. 5 examples of each, okay? Now, again, this does not have to be anywhere near what you do. You could have really just make it your own. That's the idea of this. But this is just to kind of get your ideas flowing, because a lot of things that I've done, that I've learned, I've seen from coaches, I've seen from photographers, I've seen from all other people that I'm like, oh, I could just kind of shift that and turn it into my cleaning and organizing posts. Okay, so for my first pillar, I have value. I could show tips on a dishes routine, tell them the order that I do mine and why I do it that way. I could walk them through how to organize a small space. I could run a challenge for the week and give steps of what you want them to follow. I did that this week. I could teach my followers something that I know how to do. And don't overthink that. It could be the simplest task or the simplest thing. This could still be valuable to your audience. Then you could show a before, during, or after video of you organizing a small space. Okay, that helps people see like, oh, I never thought of putting that way. Or, oh, you don't need a lot of fancy bins. You could still organize things with shoe boxes and things from the dollar store. Okay. All right. My second pillar, I'm going to grab a cough drop here. My second pillar is family. Okay, I, as an example, could show our plans for our Disneyland trip that we just made for May. I could share a picture of my kiddos. I could do a picture or a video of my kids helping with chores. I could show a picture of my husband and I on a date. That never happens anymore. And I could do a picture of just me doing something, whether I'm out on my own or just doing whatever, maybe my daily task or to-do list. Okay, my next pillar is offers. Okay, before the holidays, I was talking a lot about my holiday hoopla package, and it helps you plan and prepare yourself and your home and your family for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Okay, and prepare in a way that you really want and not feel like so stuck on, well, this is what we've always done. Okay. My second idea could be my routine management course. And this helps you prioritize your top 10 crucial tasks every single day, your top 10 personal needs, and then break down your schedule into steps that you can manage and not feel so overwhelmed about. I could also talk about my 50-minute coaching session where I helped you tackle your biggest challenge, or my 4 50-minute coaching sessions where we take a real deep dive into either your social media strategy or your home and your home systems, and we tackle those. And then, of course, I could always talk about my 16-week life coaching program. Okay, that's awesome. It's amazing. I have 2 people going through it. It's so fun. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay, but these are ways that I am telling my audience how they can work with me. Okay, if I am like Target or Walmart or any stores like that, they put out commercials, they put out ads. I can't just sit back and hope people find me. I have to tell them what I'm doing, what I'm offering, and tell them how they can work with me. Okay, and whether you're doing things virtually or you're going in homes, it can be done the same exact way. Okay, my behind the scenes pillar. I could show what I'm currently working on my business. I could show what my day's to-do list looks like. I could show our meal plan for the week. I could share a mess my toddler made, the before and after of cleaning it up. And I could share the chores that I want to complete that day, because that's important to me. And then for mindset, you do like this, or inspiration. You could share a quote, share a short idea or thought, share a quote from a book I'm reading, share a quote from a podcast, or I could share a small quote of my own that I've said in a masterclass, or a post of someone that I follow that had an inspiring thought. Okay, so keep brainstorming and writing out your pillars and your ideas. Okay, and again, if you're watching the replay, you can pause it. Make sure you have your 3 to 5 pillars and then your 5 to 10 ideas for each pillar. Just helps you kind of give your brain some direction and not feel so overwhelmed or cluttered and like, oh, what do I do? What do I post? Okay, right. Now we're going to move on to the second point. We're going to set your content avenues. And this just means that you're going to decide where you're going to be putting your information. Like, by what means are you going to get this out to the world? Okay. Are you going to do a static post? It's just a single picture, excuse me, or just a single quote or whatever. Okay. That means static. Or will you do a video? Will you share your thoughts in a live? Maybe you'll do a few quotes or like steps. If you gave like a how-to, you could do a couple of slides and they could swipe through like the carousel slide, or on Facebook, how it would be like a grid of different pictures. Okay. Will it be on Facebook? Will it be on Instagram? Will it be on both? Is it a video that you could also put on YouTube or TikTok if you're on there? Okay. Is this info only written and going to be on a blog or email? If you do a live, will it be on Facebook or Instagram, or maybe one of each? Or you could, if you have them connected, you can share over there too. And then will you save your posts or you save your live as a post when it's done? And if you're going to do that, it's a good idea ahead of time to create the slide cover that's going to go over that. Okay. If you know where you're going to post it, it really kind of helps you to keep an idea of what are the other tiny little steps that are going to go with this. Okay. What is the purpose of it, where it's going? And that can help you kind of focus of what else you need. Okay. The next step is to create a Facebook business page if you don't already have one. Okay. If you do, and you're on Instagram, you also might want to connect your two. So when I post to my Instagram, it also posts to my Facebook business page. That way I don't have to make 2 separate ones. A lot of times I will share like my challenges or what I'm doing, sometimes my lives, I'll share those on my Facebook profile, but I try really hard not to make offers on my Facebook profile because you're really not supposed to do that. What you want to do is talk about what you're up to, share what you're up to on Facebook, and then tell them to go follow you on Instagram or tell them to go follow you on your Facebook business page. Okay. Just make sure that your Instagram account, if you have that, is set as a business creator or an entrepreneur account. And the reason I say this is to make sure that you're staying in accordance with the Facebook and Instagram rules. You don't get in trouble, go into their jail, or they just completely close your account because they don't have to tell you. Okay. Right. The next order of business is to think about a lot of you may already have one, but think about having a logo. You don't have to, but you can, if you don't have one and you don't want to spend a lot of money or don't have the money to spend on it, I know you can do one on Canva, and there's other places like that that can allow you to kind of play around with something really simple. Okay. I have a friend on Instagram. Her name is Rebecca Peterson, and she has a program called Brand in a Day, which I think is genius. So if you're like, I've always wanted a logo, but I have no idea how to do it and what kind of colors to do, she can help you kind of pick things out, and she helps you with color palettes so that you know kind of like what goes together and what matches. So you can check her out. Again, she's on Instagram. Rebecca Peterson Studios is her business name. Okay. All right. More importantly than a logo, though, you could set that aside and be like, you know what? Don't have time. Don't care. Whatever you decide. You need a picture of you on there, not your avatar, not a picture of your dog or your kids, a picture of you, because you are the face of your business. People want to know who they're going to be hiring and working with. Okay. Then you also need a bio. Your bio on Instagram, if you're on there, it only allows for so many characters. So you have to kind of get creative of exactly what words you want to use so that you don't run out of space. And mine is basically what I said at the beginning. I help women prioritize personal and household goals to declutter their homes, schedule, and mind. Okay. On your Facebook page, it allows you to have more, which is nice. So you can be a little bit more elaborate with what you're trying to say, but I would still caution you to be direct with your wording, because most people, when they go on there, aren't going to read a ton. And you want to keep out extra fluffy words. It sounds lovely, but if it doesn't really make sense to your ideal client, it's not going to make any sense to really have it on there. Okay. All right, now for your actual social media strategy. Okay, I want you to make a quick list of the places and the ways that you'll post or share your information. Okay, here's mine, so you kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. I do Instagram and a Facebook post, a Facebook page post, and that happens together. I also do Instagram and Facebook page stories. I do those several times a day. I do Instagram lives. I post on my Facebook profile. I do profile stories and profile lives. And again, if you do the profile stuff, obviously that can just be personal if you want, but people are still looking at what you're doing. So if you're sharing business stuff, now they can see like, oh, she's a business owner and she does this for a living. If you're sharing about other things, you just want to be, I feel like, want to be more cautious about what you're sharing and what you're saying. Okay. And then I will do usually weekly. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's not exactly even weekly, but a lot of you are in the Virtual Organizers Mastermind. It's a private Facebook group, but it's totally free, that most of you are in, and anyone is welcome to join. Some people, actually, we're getting some people in there that aren't even organizers. They're just business owners, and it kind of helps them. Okay. So there's that. I have done that group. I've done a live for that group before. It's been a while, but I have. And then I have a YouTube channel. And then I also have, obviously, because you're here, an email list. Okay. So write out all the ways. Maybe you don't have all these. Maybe you have more. If you have TikTok in there or a blog, write out all the ways and avenues that you have to share information with people. Okay. Then what you need to do is decide the frequency for each of these things. Are you going to post 3 times a week? Are you going to post twice a week? How often will you show up on stories? How often will you send an email if you have an email list? Decide how often you're going to do each of these things. Or maybe you just do one thing. You're like, I do a post and that is it. Okay. Once you set how often you'll do each of these things, I want you to write what days they will actually go out. I know some people use, there's a couple of different programs that you can link to your Instagram and Facebook, and you can do a bunch of posts ahead of time and then schedule them to actually go out. But you decide what days that the posts and the emails will actually leave your fingertips. Okay. And then lastly, you're going to decide what days are you going to create that information. Are you going to create it in the moment? Do you sit down on Saturdays and try to plan out the whole next week? All that content. Some people do like to batch their content and do like a day of it or a few days of creating content. That can be helpful. Or you can plan a few blocks of time where you can do like some chunks at a time, just so you don't have to feel like every single time you have to post, it's really dramatic, right? Like, oh my goodness, it's time to post again and I have nothing and I don't know what to post. Okay, we're trying to get away from that. Okay. If you plan to do a live, plan ahead of time what you're going to speak about. I know there's some people that go on and do live Q&As. Well, when you're just first starting out doing lives, you probably won't have anybody that shows up. So it's hard to do a Q&A that way. Okay. Or sometimes you hop on and maybe it's not the person that you want asking questions about your business. So decide ahead of time, teach a little mini training. You know, it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be elaborate, but you could speak about something for 3 to 5 minutes. It could even be a minute. Okay. They don't have to be long, but lives really help you with your visibility. Okay. All right. Everybody take a breath. We're going to get to the exciting part. Okay. We're going to plan your next 10 posts. Hooray. Okay. Number 1, I want you to do a post about you. Are we surprised? Tell your audience about you. Post a picture of you with it, and you could post that at the top. You can pin it to the top. So if anyone comes to your Facebook page or Instagram, you can say that in a highlight, that they see this is who you are and this is a little bit about you. Okay. You don't have to make it too long, but just tell your followers a little bit about you. It's a way for them to get to know who you are and feel a little bit more comfortable hiring you. Okay. Do you follow anyone on social media that you haven't met, or maybe you've never met, but you know that they love Disneyland, they love Coke, and they have 3 kids? Because they share things and you feel a little bit more comfortable with them, right? There's plenty of people that I'm like, I feel like I know so many things about him or her. It's because they share those things. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind when you're sharing. Okay. All right. Post number 2 that we're planning. I want you to tell your audience 3 fun, funny, or interesting things about you. Again, don't overthink it. Just 3 fun things. It's a way for them to say things like, oh, that's really interesting, or oh my gosh, that's happened to me too, or I like that too. Okay. I could say something like, I've competed in the World Ballroom Championships in Blackpool, England in 2007. It's very random because I am a professional organizer and a life coach. So a lot of people don't know that I've competed in ballroom. I've also never broken a bone, and I grew up with 6 sisters and no brothers. So 3 random thoughts. They don't even have to have anything to do with each other, but just a cool way for someone else to be like, oh my gosh, I had that many sisters too. Or like, I can't believe it, I had all brothers. Okay. Just to kind of loosen up the idea that like, we don't know each other at all, and it's just strictly business. Add a little bit of fun, add a little bit of personality in there. Okay. You could also be brave and say 3 things that you don't love. I don't love Lord of the Rings. I don't love Harry Potter. And although I'm an organizer, I don't love Marie Kondo. Good thing we're on Zoom. Nobody can throw anything at me. I have nothing against her, and good for her for having lots of success, but I just personally don't feel like her ideals fit into what I find is important and good in my home. All right, post number 3, share something a lot of people don't know. It could be about you. You could even do it about your business, but I prefer that it's about you because again, we're kind of allowing them to get to know us a little bit. Okay. I got my Bachelor of Science in Movement Studies with an emphasis in ballroom. Even though I'm a professional organizer and a life coach, I also teach dance. I understand using space and try to make the most out of it to make it look good. That's what I say. Because I was a dancer and now I'm a professional organizer, I really understand space and I know how to make it look good. Okay. While at first glance, it might look like my lifeline is squiggly in my interests, but I feel like they're all very much intertwined. All right, post number 4. What did you do before you became an organizer? This could be so incredibly interesting. Okay, did you teach? This helps you because now you're teaching clients. Did you work at a corporate job? Maybe you organize projects or schedules. How did you get started as an organizer? Okay, and if you're here and you're not an organizer, this is a good way to still write these things out because this could be your why. If you don't want to be an organizer at all and you have a different business, write out what you did before that business, before you were a photographer, before you were a cook, whatever. Okay. Make it clear to your brain what led you here and what your reasons for wanting to get started were. This helps you define your why, and it's just very fun for your audience to feel like they're getting to know you, to feel more relatable with you. Okay. Your number 5 post is going to be how to work with you. Tell your audience exactly what your offer is. Okay. What's the process of contacting you? Do I message you? Do I email you? What do you do with your clients first? What's the first thing? Do you offer a free consultation? Do you talk with them over Zoom? Is it in person? Maybe you want to name your price with your offer. So you're telling them up front, this is exactly what I charge for this session or this package. Okay. Maybe you say my prices range from this to this. Maybe you don't want to talk about prices at all, and you want to talk to them about that during the consultation or through email so they have it in writing. Okay. But think about offering 1 to 3 different offers to appeal to different needs. Again, this is just totally optional. If you have more, it's kind of, again, maybe too much for them to kind of take in. But think about what you do now. What's working? What could you offer that might appeal to somebody else? Okay. All right. Post number 6, do a mini training. Teach your followers how to do something. You could set up a camera and talk as you do it. You could just video yourself and then speed up the video and add captions or add voice. Or just put in the captions below. If they just want to watch the video, and then in below the video, you could just put captions of what you wanted to say. But teach something and don't be afraid to keep it very short and very simple. Doesn't have to be complicated. Okay. Number 7, share a testimonial. Share a nice comment or review that a client gave you. You could even share like a post that you've done. If somebody commented on a post and you really thought that comment, like it spoke to them, right? And so you could just kind of post in your stories the actual post and then what their comment was. So people can see like, oh yeah, it really resonated with them, or, oh, that helped me too. Okay. Again, we want those like me too moments with our clients or potential clients. Okay, post number 8. Give 3 tips on how to something. 3 tips on how to plan for a big organizing project. 3 tips on how to organize a space or declutter a space. Okay. And again, this just kind of goes to back to your content pillars. Like, What am I trying to do? Is my focus always decluttering and getting rid of things? Is my focus always downsizing? Is my focus always home systems? Is my focus always just organizing the space? Okay. Post number 9. Give a top 3, a top 5, or even a top 10 list of something. Again, it doesn't have to be a lot, but just kind of brainstorm what you could think. A top blank list of something like your favorite organizing products, or the first X number of things that you do every single day. Okay, when I wake up, I say my prayers, I get my workout clothes on, and I help my boys get ready for school, whatever the day is. Okay. You could also say your top 3 questions that you ask every single client before you work with them and why. Okay, that's not only interesting to hear, that kind of tells them exactly what you're going to be asking them if they decide to work with you. Okay. And then post number 10 is invite them to join your email list. Okay. Or if you don't have that, you can invite them to join your Facebook profile. You can share an inspirational quote or do a whole nother post or something, repeat one of the ones, and then invite them to follow you on your Facebook business page or join your email list. Okay. And again, you could tell them kind of why. I give more tips and tricks over there, or in your email, right to your email inbox, you'll get all my good things. You can word it how you'll do it, but tell them why so that they know and have a reason. Okay. If you don't have an email list yet, I want you to think about starting one. Okay. Since we don't own Facebook or Instagram, if they went away or decided to take away your account, you need a way to be able to still stay in contact with your audience and your followers so that you can still keep your business going and then hop on whatever platform is coming around next. Okay. You can also brainstorm ideas of how to get emails. Okay. Because that's important too. It's like, well, I know I need to start an email list, but how do I start that? You can offer like a free template or a free training and get emails that way. Okay. But just sit and kind of brainstorm of like, what could I do? Not that you have to do all the things, not that you have to do all the things at once. What could I start with? What seems easy, and start with that one. You could even do that on your Facebook profile. Hey, I'm starting an email group for my business. If anyone's interested, message me your email. I don't think you should do that all the time. That's my personal opinion, but you could do it here and there, sprinkled, or at least once, just to kind of get the ball rolling. Okay. What I don't want you to do is overthink social media. Okay. Because it's easy to get in this place where it's like, oh my gosh, everyone shows up every single day and I just don't know how to do this. Okay. Don't sit in overwhelm, because that's not going to put you in a good place or in a good state of mind. Okay. If you feel overwhelmed by it, follow all of these steps. Okay. If you still feel overwhelmed, you might need to simplify or cut down how often you're doing these things. Okay. You can also use the same piece of content in every avenue that you use, right? If I make a post on my Instagram page or my Instagram account and my Facebook business page, I might also post it to my Facebook profile if it doesn't have an offer in it. I might also post it to the Virtual Organizers Mastermind, that a lot of us are organizers and we know how to do these things, but we still need to keep up with them in our homes, right? So it's a good way to have a reminder. It's also a good way for you to see what I'm posting and how I'm putting things out there. Just gives you some ideas for what you can do. Okay. You can also put that content into video form. So instead of something like a static post, you just talk about it in a video, put it on YouTube, or put it in an email. So it's in written form. A lot of people like things in different ways. Some people go to YouTube to watch things they don't want to read. Some people only do emails and not social media. So it's just a way to kind of reach the most amount of people with one piece of content is the idea. Okay. All right. I do share a lot of my same content in all the places, but not all the time. So like this information only went to like the Virtual Organizers Mastermind group. I put a little post on Professional Organizers Think Tank page to see if anybody wanted help with this here. But it's not really something that I put on like my Facebook profile. It just doesn't need to be there. So again, just kind of thinking like, what piece of content is this and where can I put it? to get the most amount of visibility, but that makes the most amount of sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. In no way am I saying that my way is the best way and the only way, because that is not truth. Okay. It's just the way that I do it. So I'm just giving some suggestions. So know that in all these lists of things that I'm giving you to do, choose the ones that feel the best to you, that feel right, that like, yeah, I like this, or you know what, that's not for me. I'm not going to do that. Okay. And then most importantly, at the end of every single post or live or email, give a call to action. Doesn't have to be the same one every single time, but the whole reason I'm guessing you're doing this is to make an income, right? That's why we start businesses, so we can make an income. Okay. You need to tell your audience exactly what you want them to do. Do you want them to reply to this email to work with you? Do you want them to message you to set up a free 30-minute Coco chat or whatever you call yours, a consultation or a discovery call? Do you want them to comment below if the quote or the inspirational thought, if it resonated with them? Do you want them to save it so that they have it for another time? Do you want them to share your video if they found it helpful? Because then that gets it more views, right? Okay. All right, perfect. If you like this masterclass and you feel like, awesome, I'm good to go. Excellent. I would love for you to continue following me on social media. I am on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. And again, if you're not in the Virtual Organizers Mastermind Facebook group, just do a search for it. Since it is a private group, you just search for it and then ask to be admitted, and then I can admit you in. It's a good way to kind of be surrounded by more people like me. There's some great people in there and they give really good comments and feedback. But just kind of feeling like you're not so alone, whether you join my group or a couple other groups that you like, make sure you're in places and groups that help you feel motivated, that help you feel like this is what you should be doing, right? Not people that are tearing people down or complaining, nothing like that. Stay away from those so that you can keep your mind and your business in a good place, okay? If you would like to work with me, I do offer 3 different offers, okay? I spoke on them earlier, but I want to kind of tell you a little bit more in detail so you can decide if it is right for you. So my 50-minute coaching session package is $97. We can do any organizing you might need help with, home management systems, or social media management, which is probably why you're here. Okay. I also help you with some mindset. That's where the life coaching comes into this. Really help you get out of your head, kind of work on what you're struggling with and help you move past that so you can have momentum where you want it. Okay. With that, it also comes with 1 week Marco Polo access to me, so you can continue to ask questions and get feedback, and I can cheer you on. Okay. The best one that I've seen that helps business owners is my 4 50-minute coaching session package. It's for $397. And that just helps you get organized. We dive deep in your social media and mindset and where you're at. And we just make a plan and we just meet for 4 weeks and we go through it and make sure that you're on track, that you're setting goals and that you're hitting those. And I've seen the most amount of progress with this package. If you just want the 1 hour, it's totally fine. But a lot of people do the 1 hour and they come back for the actual 4 session package. So, but again, it's a great way to set goals and have some accountability. Okay. My newest offer that I do want to tell you about is my Choose to Be You program. It's a 16-week one-on-one coaching program, and it gives you the amazing workbook to use from the Mind Firm method. And it includes lessons and writing spaces, asks really, really great questions of trying to pull things out of here that you might be struggling with, that we try to sift through and work on and be able to process emotions and move forward instead of feeling so stuck. Okay. The cost is $2,000, and I do have payment plans available for that, but it helps you learn the power of your thoughts and for you to be able to feel empowered and take action instead of questioning or feeling stuck. that is not a fun place to be. And so it's great to be able to kind of work on things that you want to work on, things that you like to think about, and what you'd like to move forward, and not be stuck on this, but let's move to this. I can show you how to do that. So the idea of this program is so that you learn how to self-coach yourself, so that after the program, you're able to do that for yourself the rest of your life. It's not a therapy thing where I want you to work with me all the time. I'd love for you to be able to have these tools and then go out and do, okay? Move forward with purpose, all right? You get my full support in that 16-week process as I guide you through the lessons. Obviously, you also get Marco Polo access to me. My biggest fear is that we pull things out, we talk about things that sometimes are a little bit emotional, or you're reading the lesson and you have some questions. I don't want that big week gap where I just don't see you and you don't have any questions answered. So you're able to talk to me, talk things out, and have any feedback that you need. Okay. So anytime that somebody wants to work with me, I first have them meet with me for a 30-minute Coco chat. Whether you decide to work with me or not, it's totally free, and there is no obligation to work with me after that. Okay. Again, if you're not ready to work with me, that's totally fine. I'm still glad you're here. Follow me on social media, and I'd love to see what you're up to with what you're doing in your business, and you can share on there. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then I'll take some questions if you have them.